possible area to develop further for low-income housing for the people that work there. At one point, there was even a question of whether or not the bonds would have moved there. That seems to me to be a part where you really want to develop in terms of good for them, good for the city.
Want me to take it?
Your turn.
Well, when the Ojai Valley Inn did their renovation a few years ago, the area off of Hermosa was designated as that's where employee housing was going to be. Then they purchased the Mandalay property and the Ojai Ford property. And whatever they're going to do there, who knows, because I don't think they've come before the city with any formalized plan at this point. I would not necessarily be in favor of having the housing for the employees as one of the second things you see after you come into Ojai after Ojai Rotary Community Park. I'm not sure that that's what we want there. And there's some open space there, and I'd hate to see that be developed with the field that's just to the west of the Mandalay property. As far as the Crowns and the Ojai Valley Inn, I think the city has done an awful lot recently to help support the visitor center and promote tourism for Ojai for the benefit of the budget. But I don't think the Crowns need particularly much assistance in filling up the inn. They can do that themselves as far as the city's concerned. As far as working with the Crowns, the city should work with them if they want to do some employee housing. I think it would be a good idea. But it's already been earmarked for that lot off of Hermosa, as that's where it would go. And I don't necessarily think that the right place for it is right after the Mandalay build.
No, I'm just talking in general with the Crown family, that could be part of the solution as far as the housing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be.
Wherever you put it.
Yeah, it could be.
It's got to be at least 5 years ago that the city gave permission to the inn to build an 8,000 square foot house for members of the Crown family. And as part of that, the inn promised to build 4 units of affordable housing. 10 units? Okay, I stand corrected. Thank you, Carol. So far, it's like the skate park almost. I mean, there's not been an iota of progress. And I have to say, in all humility, that I believe I am the only person who appears before the council every 6 months, every 8 months, and again in the public forum where you can speak as to non-agendized items. I call to the council's attention and the city's attention that nothing has been done on the low-income housing that they contracted, not only promised, but I would assume agreed to in writing to build, that the city, as far as I know, has never publicly discussed why nothing has been done, and nobody responds. So I sit down, and another 8 or 10 months later, I stand up and remind them again. They made a contract. They have not kept to it. And yes, it's 10 units, but 10 units is 10 units, and they should do it. In terms of working with the inn, I don't want to make them the enemy. They obviously are an integral part of our survival here in Ojai. I mean, the bed tax helps support the city probably as much as anything. Carol probably knows. Shout out the answer if I'm wrong. But it's interesting because for the longest time, the inn has worked real hard to keep its guests from leaving the inn. They want them there for the weekend. They don't want them coming to see shows at the Art Center or Theater 150. They don't want them eating at the restaurants downtown. They want everybody to stay there. And when we work with the inn and talk with the inn and try and reach accords that benefit both the inn and the city, that's one item which needs to be on the agenda. At the very least, they should have a bulletin board somewhere that the Art Center and the Theater 150 and Ojai Shakespeare and all the other wonderful groups here in Ojai can let people who come to Ojai know what's going on in Ojai. And it's a shame that has not happened.